Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology. Today, I'd like to share with you something really critical to know on traditional Chinese martial arts. And that is the impulse momentum identity. So why do I share this today? I share this today because in the past 1 week, I share on the Shaolin short strike common denominator, your footwork go with the knee strike because it's a short strike art. And the 1850s Wing Chun is not exclusive. It has to follow that type of uniqueness in impulse momentum. Now, many of our Wing Chun friends get it right away, especially those who spar and compete. They know that that is the way to face the long fist practitioner, and that is short strike. The footwork ought to be that way. However, there's still some Wing Chuners who do not understand this. In their mind is that whatever their grandmaster or great grandmaster teach them is the real Wing Chun. Whatever I present here is Hendrik make it up, or Hendrik create, or Hendrik branding. Some even say, oh, the 1850s Wing Chun have space for in this world. Well, that shows that it is actually not knowing that 1850 Wing Chun is the real deal Chinese culture. It is not up to anybody say that, oh, it is have space in this world. It is not Hendrik's creations or Hendrik's branding. Okay? And that's important because if you love Wing Chun, we need to know what Wing Chun is. Right? Instead of taking whatever this grandmaster said this, that grandmaster said that, that is Wing Chun. And when you see the real deal from the ancient in writing, we don't know what it is. We thought that this is a modern creation. That is actually distorting and actually destroying Wing Chun, destroying Chinese culture. That's that serious. Why? Because we need to have professional ethic. There's a code there. Code of what one need to understand if one need to be professional. And it has to be objective, okay? So, I want to share with you on the impulse momentum identity because it is on all this book, the Qi Chi Guang's book, the Shaolin short strike books, and all other old-timer book, and I pull out a sample. This is Fujian Dog Fist. All of this art have impulse momentum identity. So what is impulse momentum identity? Impulse momentum identity is unique way of impulse momentum expression in fighting. So what does it mean? That means one is not go up to the competitions, make a post saying that this is Wing Chun, and then when that one fight, God knows what it is. Okay? It can be Western boxing, jab, or hook, or cross, or long fist fighting. So that is do not having any impulse momentum identity. So that's why today you can see the critics of the Chinese Kung Fu. You look at you go to the forum, discussing forum, you look at how the MMA people in China saying about Kung Fu. Well, everybody have a post, but when they start fighting, people call it Wang Ba Qian in Mandarin, meaning that it's just randomly hitting. So people questioning, where's your Wing Chun when you fight? Where's your Tai Chi when you fight? Where's your Bagua when you fight? You know, look at all this forum where the Chinese MMA player questioning. Okay, so it exists, the impulse momentum identity. So the impulse momentum identity is the unique way it moves. Okay, so for example, a Western boxer, you look at the Western boxer, when he train, when he pose, when he fight, he using the same type of impulse momentum identity. Or the mobility have a characteristic which is Western boxing. Same thing with Thai boxing. Thai boxing has its characteristic. Well, if you look at, say, Taekwondo, Taekwondo is using leg too, but you see the differences there, the difference impulse momentum identity. Kyokushin using legs too, but it have a different identity or impulse momentum identity. One is fight. Just go, so you go watch all the video, you see a Taekwondo fight a Thai boxer, or Kyokushin fight a Thai boxer, or Western boxer fighting a Kyokushin, you can see the identity. It's not even in the move. I have this move, that move, that move. It is the identity. And that is the mobility characteristic. And that mobility characteristic is depend on footwork, body work, and of course your weapons. So as I share on the Shaolin Short Strike and Wing Chun 1850, you know that if it is those type of art, when he get in, the footwork in, the knee is going to strike in with the shoulder and arm strike continues together and spin. That is the Wing Chun 1850s identity. Okay. So as here in this book, it describes clearly what is a dog fist impulse momentum identity. Same with this Shaolin Short Strike book. If you are short strike from Shaolin, you better have this identity. In the general Qi Ji Guang book, you can see different impulse momentum identity which general Qi Ji Guang cite out, where the Chinese Kung Fu in the Ming Dynasty, how different art, he cited up. So that is the soul of a martial art. Whether you have the art or not, is can you show the identity? Not to say that who win the fight, who is the most authentic. How is your identity? Impulse momentum identity. That justify, do you know the art or not? Today, like in Wing Chun, people say Tan Bong Fo, Yi Kam Yong Ma, and then the Sun Punch. You look into Hongga, does Hongga have Tan Bong Fo and Yi Kam Yong Ma? You look into the Sun Punch, how many traditional Chinese martial art style have sun punch or vertical punch, they call it. So all those things is not imposed momentum identity. Honga, you look at the Honga iron wire and the sets. Did they practice the Yi Kao Myung Ma and the Tan Bong Fo? However, how did they fight? Did they fight the same with Wing Chun? Or they fight the same with Chai Lei Fat? You look at Honga's identity and the Chai Lei Fat identity, you can see the difference. Okay? So, now the issue is this. We know that Wing Chun identity is a variations of the Shaolin short strike. But it has to have the common denominator of the Shaolin short strike. Otherwise, it really doesn't make any sense. Not to mention that if you don't have the footwork, you don't have the knee attacks, then you don't have an identity because you're just moving your hand. So the same thing is for a Western boxer. If you go just learning from YouTube, the jab, the cross, the hook of the Western boxing, and you never really train in Western boxing on the footwork and the slip line and all those kind of back work and everything, you can show that the jab, the hook, but still people can see you are not doing Western boxing. You just mimic posture. So as in yesterday's video, I shared with everybody how the 1850s Wing Chun, which is based on the Shaolin short strike characteristic, it go in, it change the angle, it move back changing an angle, it goes sideways changing an angle, it continues to changing angles. Why? Because a short strike need to be dodge and flip over or turn over like another Shaolin Q&A I shared a few videos ago. You don't take it straight. So when people say, well, Wing Chun had to have this structure, I can take force. That's not short strike. Short strike don't do that. Short strike is you just dodge and you just get in. That is what it means by be like water. See, water never against you. You slam a water just goes sideways. The Chinese descriptions of water since Sun Tzu, the art of war, is like that. And if you look at the Q&A in this book, the Shaolin Short Strike, it is saying that it never stand there have this mind power or structural power to against or to spring back your opponent. It doesn't. It dodge away first and then at the same time it strike you. That's why that is the footwork I showed you yesterday. You need this type of footwork, those type of knee work, leg works, or feet works, and body work to play the game. And that is the imposed momentum identity. So we today know the imposed momentum identity of the Wing Chun 1850s. And of course, because we know the Shaolin short strike imposed momentum identity, that's why we can confirm that this is what it is. Okay? And again, you trace back without the breathing as described here, without the handling of the 7 bowls, it really doesn't work. So it's like the Western boxer who have all this training. If we just go learn how to do a hook, how to do a cross or jab, but we from the waist to the toe, we have no idea how that thing works, then we don't do Western boxing. That's that simple. So this is what I'd like to share with you today. Wing Chun need an identity, impose momentum identity. Wing Chun is not pose some kind of move like in the movie. Have you ever seen those people who pose those moves like a movie fight a formal student of Western boxing? Have you seen that? Have you seen anybody using Tan Bong Fu fight a real formal, like amateur Western boxer or Kyokushin or Thai boxer? Do you think you're going to use that Tan Bong Fu and chain punch? Well, again, you see it in Xi Xiaodong versus Ding Hao. What is the result? When Xi Xiaodong get close, Ding Hao cannot handle it, end up to get thrown and so forth, right? And also at the long range, keeping striking like Ding Hao, keeping striking with this sun punch. That is not imposed momentum identity of Wing Chun. If Wing Chun have this those type of imposed momentum identity, it will not last. Okay. So let's get to the bottom line. Imposed momentum identity. Go watch Kyokushin, fighting a Taekwondo or Thai boxing, and see, even though they both can use round kick, but every one of them have an imposed momentum identity. If Wing Chun doesn't have that, then there's no Wing Chun. It is as clear as this. Not based on Hendrik. Based on this and all those Chinese martial art book and like this a sample of dogfish. They know what they are doing. And they know their imposed momentum identity and they train for that. So when they go out there, it is the imposed momentum identity. Like a Western boxer, it's not, if I'm Western boxer, when I start, I have to show my hook and then my jab, then there's Western boxer. No, Western boxer don't have to do anything. But when they get contact, when the action start, you know that there's Western boxer, like Mike Tyson. So this is very important, okay? Seriously, if you don't have those imposed momentum identity, you don't have a martial arts. And also, in the ancient, when you talk about lineage, what is lineage? Lineage still has to keep that imposed momentum identity. You look at, for example, Kyokushin. Kyokushin later have different lineages. After Oyama passed away, even when Mas Oyama is there, Kyokushin have offspring. But you see their imposed momentum identity. You can see that. You know that this thing is even named differently, but it has the imposed momentum identity of Kyokushin. Same with Western boxer, right? So this is the soul of a martial arts, according to the, not according to Hendrik. Okay, I don't make this up. I don't need to branding this thing. This is a reality. Otherwise, you don't have a style. A style means you have an imposed momentum identity. A lineage means you use the same imposed momentum identity, however, you have different variations of get into that imposed momentum identity.